Hermes, second talk. What you see here is our video from yesterday, the first talk from Studio Hermes. This thing, it shall remind on one picture. It was made in the 19th century. It's a very famous picture. Lou André Salomé, Friedrich Nietzsche and Rainer Maria Rilke. All of them were on the picture. This is the first question in this second talk of Studio Hermes. Who knows the picture and who knows the real interpretation of this picture? This is a short introduction of our second talk. What you see here is one of the main topics of Studio Hermes. Our first talk, our first video was made a kind of darkness. Today we have light, so it means one of the primary steps in Hermetic techniques are bringing things from the dark side to the light. What does this mean? Do we know what this means? What it means to have this picture in the digital world? To have it here in this room, but to have it by millions of mirror sites in other rooms as well? This video is from yesterday, and at the moment we make a video from the moment. It's a main topic in Hermetic thinking of space and time and sensation. It is the question of 1, 3, 4 dimensions, and about the timeline, which we know as the non-Euclid space. The shortest way between 2 points in this non-Euclidean world. It's not a line, it's a curve. That's all we have to know at the first time when we think about the God of the message, which is called Hermes, Mercurius Trismegistus. What do we know about him? Where did he live? What he was writing, and which verses we can quote out to know something about his knowledge, his philosophy of Hermetic thinking. For that, I have one advice, one introduction book I read some years ago. It's a dissertation from one German scientist. His name is Ralf Littke. Die Hermetik, traditionelle Philosophie der Differenz. It's a dissertation what was written in the last century, and it's a good introduction for the history and the background of Hermetic. By myself, I was trying to give an explanation about the relation between Hermetic as an old science and practice and the modern worlds of the digital age. So I combined in my scientific work the roots and sources which are referring back to the Hermetic Egyptian wisdom and which can be interpreted by all of the new technical equipment, surroundings and sensations like cyberspace, avatars, digital worlds, what are digital worlds? What are magical worlds? What are moving pictures? They are all Hermetic questions. What does it mean to open a digital window to work by electricity and light? What does it mean to disappear and to appear by pictures, words, sounds, in a special semiotic way of absorbing this world. Hermes, he is the messenger. What in the 20th century the well-known American media researcher Marshall McLuhan wrote in his magical channels was a big impact for the theory of media. What are the messages hiding? Is the medium the message? That's what he was calling. And a lot of scientists and media students have repeated it in the last 50 years. What does message hiding and is the medium the message. So it means, how can we understand the new media? There's another one, original, famous thinker and author, William Blake, more than one century before Marshall McLuhan. He wrote an interesting sentence. He wrote down the sentence, which really has a hermetic impact and big impression to think about. William Blake wrote the sentence, which knowledge we have lost in information. Information theory could not solve this question in the last century. Which knowledge we have lost in information. It means which steps we have to go back to translate and to understand the old sources of media
U izvedbi
age.
orkestra Milanske skale, kojim je dirigirao Lovro Plemeniti Matečić, slušali smo četvrti stavak
There are a
trio
lot
s
of philosophers
varijacijama
from the
iz treće
20th
svite u
century.
G-duru
They have already
Petrevića
made
Čajkovskog,
first
opus
steps
55.
to this question.
I za kraj današnje
Like
emisije Život glazbe, serenada za
classical
gudača u S-duru Jozefa
authors in
Suka.
philosophy,
Stavke andante con moto, allegro ma non troppo agrazioso, adagio,
der
allegro
Ursprung des
giocoso ma non
Kunstwerks,
troppo presto, slušamo u izvedbi Praškog simfonijskog orkestra. Dirigirat će Alois Klima.
it was one Austrian author, George Lucas, originally not from Austria, but he was writing and researching in Austria and Vienna. He wrote the Ursprung des Kunstwerks im Zeitalter der technischen Reproduzierbarkeit. It means the origin of the art work in the age of the technical reproduction. What we hear here in the background is one classical music. It's also hermetic. Where this music comes from? It comes from the ether. There are radio waves, and these radio waves are decoded by my antenna, is transforming these waves to music. But where does the music comes from originally? It was composed some centuries ago. It was realized in a time without electrical reproductions. But nowadays we hear everything from the past by electric machines. We are transforming from the past to the present into the future. It's a big narrative of hermetic thinking. Space and time are not the same. In our next talk, we will try to discuss this topic by the narrative of post-historism. That time and space are in the third millennium is absorbing the present, and we are just in a consciousness that tries to fill up the future with past meanings. At the end we call it Generation X or Z because it's the end of the humankind. Like in the 19th century, Friedrich Nietzsche wrote, the last human being is now appearing on Earth. That was some ideas from Studio Hermes, the second talk, 6th of January 2025 at the Christian special day of the Three Kings. See you next talk. Bye. Thank you.